What is up, everyone? It is time to talk One Piece. As I always like to do with adaptations, a little background before I launch into my review, just so you know where my opinion is coming from. I do not watch a lot of anime or read manga, so I went into Netflix's live-action One Piece series knowing little about the source material, or at least little beyond the light research that I've been doing over the years so I could follow along as the series came together. But I am quite well aware that it could be a great challenge to adapt that kind of material into a live-action series or film. The creative potential of that art form has just always seemed limitless to me, so you get these really big swings, this sky-high energy that can just be difficult to replicate in the live-action form. This One Piece series, however, I think excels big time in that department. I absolutely adored this show. It's packed with big personalities, curious character design, and hugely ambitious set pieces, and really, I found that it all worked, and I think it all works for a multitude of reasons, and of course there are many artists working on this show that need credit for all of that incredible work, but I did find that much of the show's success heavily relies on one particular element. It is the beating heart of this One Piece series, the thing about it that grabbed me from scene one and just never let go. It's Luffy's infectious sense of adventure, ambition, and positivity. Iñaki Godoy is phenomenal in what seems to be a very challenging role to bring to screen convincingly, especially in live-action form. Again, I loved Luffy's relentless positivity, but it is a quality that does run the risk of growing tiresome or perhaps coming across as over the top to the point of feeling unrealistic, but Godoy and also the show's scripts never let that happen. His performance is just brimming with authenticity non-stop, and that's a big reason why it works so well. The character is a dreamer, no doubt, and yes, sometimes his determination to always follow his dreams comes in the form of blind ambition, but you can always feel that Luffy's whole heart is in it, and even better with that character, his heart beats for his own dreams, and it also beats for the ambitions of others as well. And before I shout out any other actors here, I do have to point out that that was one of my favorite qualities of the whole series here, and considering that I think the anime likely has that same quality in it, I suspect it's something that's going to inspire me to seek out the source material, and that right there, I think, is one of the most wonderful things you could say about any adaptation. Anime, a book-to-film adaptation, even the continuation of a long-running franchise for that matter. Sure, it is great when someone has seen or read everything before going into a new version of something, or even the next chapter of an ongoing story, but I find that the really special shows and films out there manage to satisfy longtime fans while also adding to the fan base, broadening the fan base, and even better is when a show can do that in a way that inspires those newcomers to go back and check out all the material that they missed. I just get the feeling that this One Piece series is gonna do that for a lot of people out there. It's likely gonna do that for me thanks to Luffy's nonstop positivity and also how he supports others. Simply put, I guess, I just love having those vibes in my life, and I want more of them. But that's not to say One Piece is all happy, and watching these zany characters go on adventures, but adventures without any real stakes or danger to them. Because one of my other favorite elements of the show was how threatening the villains felt, and also by how the show uses its fun-loving sense of adventure to really dig into complex human emotions and group dynamics as well. And, you know, speaking of the group, that's where I'll go next here. What started as me just loving Luffy became me getting totally attached to the pirate crew that he assembles. They're all distinct, vibrant personalities who heavily contribute to making the show a dazzling, joyful watch, while also making sure it had some real emotional weight to it. The casting department here just absolutely nailed it. They assembled a core cast with maximum chemistry, actors who were able to play while also bolstering the show's heart and the stakes of the battles and the other dangerous situations that they find themselves in. Really, top to bottom, this cast is something else. And now I'll jump into the adversaries that they face here. I thought there were many, many good ones in the mix, but I have to highlight two in particular. First, I am just full-blown obsessed with Jeff Ward as Buggy. I've seen a good deal of his work and I am a fan, but not all of it, so perhaps there is something in his filmography that's somewhat similar to this, but I was just absolutely tickled watching him go so big and goofy and also menacing while playing Buggy. In fact, the episode he's heavily featured in is probably one of my favorite episodes of this series thus far, and that can give me an excuse to touch on crafts here because what they do there with that character, and of course, I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone else who is like me jumping into this series completely cold, but I will tease that what they have to do with that particular character shouldn't work as well as it does, but the effects look absolutely fantastic. All right, the second villain I have to shout out here is McKinley Belcher III, who plays Arlong. Special effects, makeup, prosthetic work is on point. But the success of that character very much comes down to Belcher's commanding screen presence, his ability to make the most of that craftsmanship, and also his booming line delivery. You can feel the atmosphere change, the vibe of a scene change whenever Arlong enters that space. I've got to keep talking about the crafts work here because there is some really special stuff happening in this show, and the mere mention of effects just isn't enough. The costume work is excellent. The production design, spectacular. The sets here feel vast and detailed. They're all bright, poppy, and very fun to look at, but they also feel well used and lived in, and that's what makes them feel real. Also, the stunt work here is just exceptional. Whether it's set pieces that involve VFX, special effects, maybe no effects at all, everything looks great, and on top of that, it's all extremely well photographed and edited as well. I love when fight scenes aren't over-edited, and that's very much the case here with One Piece. I find that it gives you the opportunity to marvel at and really appreciate the next level stunt work coming from that particular department, and I also find that those longer shots make the fights feel more real and in turn wind up upping the suspense and intensity of a show like this tenfold. All right, I'm gonna get into my score now. I am giving Netflix's live-action One Piece series 4.5 Deweys out of 5 on the Dewey Decimovie scale. Again, simply put, this show made me very, very happy. Not that I didn't have faith in it, but I just really didn't expect to fall for One Piece as hard as I did. I pressed play on episode 1 and just could not turn it off. I found that One Piece manages to do two things exceptionally well. Two things that I think are quite hard to do all on their own, but especially big challenges to pull off when you have to do both together. This show gets to have fun, be zany, and play, but it does that without ever losing the authentic heart and the sense of humanity, and that winds up meaning that the journey itself is an absolute blast to experience, and also that the payoff of what Season 1 is building towards is very, very well earned. I really can't recommend One Piece enough. When you all check out the series yourself, you know what I like you to do. Hit that comment section below, share your own thoughts right there. This feels like a terrible question to ask with this particular show, but you just heard me shout out Luffy, Arlong, and Buggy. Who are some of your favorite characters? Put those in the comment section. I want to know all about them. Thank you for watching this review. Stay tuned, more on the way very, very soon.